final reminder of the starting 11s before we get underway here on TalkSport 2. Don't forget, over on TalkSport, the Champions League second leg between Real Madrid and Bayern Munich with Jim Proudfoot and Stuart Pearce. But here, Peterborough lineup with Jed Steer in goal, a back four of Jadel Katongo, Josh Knight, Ronnie Edwards and Harrison Burrows, Hector Cipriano and Archie Collins are the holding midfielders, Kwame Poku, Joel Randall and Efren Mason-Clark in behind Ricky Jade Jones. As for Oxford, Jamie Cumming is their goalkeeper, Finn Stevens, Elliot Moore, Kieran Brown and Joe Bennett in the back four, Cameron Brannigan, the notional holding midfielder. In front of him, Owen Dale, Ruben Rodriguez, Tyler Goodrum and Josh Murphy. Mark Harris is the lone striker for Oxford United. Benches for Peterborough, Villa Capic, de Havilland, Clark Harris, Ajiboye, Mothersill, Fernandez and Dornelly. For Oxford, Eastwood, Long, McEachran, Bodin, Brown, McGuane and Lee. And it's Oxford United in their yellow shirts with a little black pinstripe, black shorts and yellow socks will get it underway, and they're kicking from left to right as we look at the back of the main stand. So Oxford heading for the London Road Terrace. The Oxford fans are in the main stand with us, but they're way across to the far left hand side, being kept in the corner. Our vista that we have here sees mostly blue and white shirts, with Peterborough fans at both ends of the ground. Andrew Kitching, our referee. The referee posh here when they drew with Wickham in October. Done a lot of championship this season, his first year at championship level. And he takes charge tonight. A bit of ticker tape is being taken down from the goal away to our left-hand side of the Desco stand end. Toilet rolls being lobbed here and there. It's like being back in the 70s, Adrian Clark.
Yeah, a little bit of decorating required ahead of kick-off, but we're off.
And Oxford roll it back to the edge of their own penalty area, and it's clipped downfield by Elliot Moore, the man whose goal separated the two sides in the first leg, and a header won by Josh Knight. And Peterborough try and clip the ball out to this near side, their left, but it's retrieved by Finn Stevens on loan from Brentford, and he rolls it into Ruben Rodriguez. The Portuguese, under pressure from Archie Collins, gives the ball back to Elliot Moore, and further back it goes to the on loan Jamie Cumming, who came in from Chelsea in January to Oxford United. Mark Harris and Josh Knight go to ground, and been given as a foul against Mark Harris as Oxford tried to thread the ball through for Josh Murphy. Peterborough have a free kick in the first minute on TalkSport 2, 0-0.
Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting duel between Josh Knight and the striker Mark Harris, who is a very combative front man. They'll go long to him, and he'll look to fight in those individual duels. On that occasion, it's the centre half that comes out on top.
Remember, it's 1-0 to Oxford United from the first leg of the Kazam that we brought you on TalkSport 2 on Saturday evening. Jed Steer, now the Peterborough number one, had a 4-game trial that led to a permanent deal. Wasn't at Peterborough at the start of the campaign. The ex-Villa keeper is Harrison Burrows, 14 assists in League One this season from left back, quite similar to what Leif Davis has been doing for Ipswich in the Championship this year.
Yeah, and he was the hero at Wembley, of course, for those 2 goals. Captain, Adrian Dunham's favourite player. He's a real legend here at the club, and he'd love to help steer this club back to the Championship, and they're in with a shout.
He's been here since he was 6 years old, Harrison Burrows. A ball up to the midfield, but there was a foul by Efren Mason-Clark, and Stevens for Oxford rolls the ball back to Elliot Moore, just ahead of his own penalty area. Square ball to Kieran Brown, and then further out to the left-hand side, and Joe Bennett. He placed the ball down the line looking for Josh Murphy, but good strong work down that right hand side by Jadel Katongo. Breaks into midfield for Joel Randall for Peterborough, rolls it up to the left hand side, and here's Mason-Clark drifting for the byline, tries to pull it back and wins a corner kick for Peterborough United at the Desco stand end to our left. 0-0, 2 minutes gone.
Yeah, really good run, Mason-Clark.
And a short corner as well. Randall whips it into the near post, and it's cleared away out for a throw on this near side. Didn't get past the first defender on the 6-yard line. Back it goes into midfield, and Archie Collins, one of two players in the Peterborough starting lineup that came through Exeter City's ranks, the other being Randall, who just helped create that corner kick chance. Now Kwame Poku out on the right hand side for Peterborough, almost level with the Oxford United penalty box, but he rolls it back into midfield for Collins. Collins sees Burrows just behind him at the edge of the centre circle, head straight into the feet of Randall, but Randall under pressure on this near side has to go back into his own half for Burrows. And now Mason Clark rides the challenge on this near side of Finn Stevens, and then he's cleaned out on that left hand side by Owen Dale. Nothing more than a foul awarded by Andrew Kitching, but it is a free kick tight to this near touchline for Peterborough, about 20 yards from the byline. 0-0.
Yeah, they're looking to get really, really aggressive to Ephron Mason Clark. We saw earlier on Owen Dale almost pushed him inside the box there. It's Finn Stevens really cluttering into him. He bundles past him, and then it's Dale on the cover that makes the foul. But Ephron Mason Clark heavily involved in his opening few minutes.
Two options for the free kick: Randall with a right foot in swinger, or Harrison Burrows with a left-footed delivery to try and keep it away from the Oxford keeper Jamie Cumming. It is Burrows to clip it deep to the far post, headed out by Kieran Brown, drops for Archie Collins 30 yards out, trying to head it down the right wing to find Josh Knight, who was out there, but Oxford United clear their lines, and it's back with Harrison Burrows inside his own half. We played 4.5 minutes on TalkSport 2. 0-0 the score. Oxford still holding that one goal advantage. I must remember to keep calling them Oxford United, because of course there is an Oxford City, although they were relegated from the National League this season back to National League South.
Yeah, interesting little tactical tweak. We've seen the striker Mark Harris just move over to the left temporarily, and Josh Murphy take up the centre forward position. It'll be interesting to see whether that kind of rotation continues or not.
Now down the right hand side, Ricky J. Jones, one of the quickest players in the division, tries to clip it across, and it came off the boot of Joe Bennett and out for a Peterborough throw about 10 yards from the corner flag on the far side of the field. 0-0 the score on the night, 1-0 to Oxford United on aggregate. Here on your home with the EFL playoffs. Bolton await the winners at Wembley Stadium later this month, and of course all three playoff finals will be live on the TalkSport network later this month. Joel Randall for Peterborough, just inside his own half, and again Dale getting a bit too close for the referee's liking. Free kick awarded and hit straight down the left hand side for Ephron Mason Clark, who's got Finn Stevens backpedaling. Mason Clark clips the ball in to the far post, goes beyond Kwame Poku, and Cipriano tried to improvise a volleyed effort at goal from a very tight angle, and it was a comfortable save for Cumming in the end for Oxford United. 0-0.
Well, everything is coming down this near left hand side, isn't it, to Ephron Mason Clark. He fancies himself in those 1v1s against Finn Stevens, who looks, I have to say, a little bit uncomfortable. I don't think he can live with Mason Clark's pace, and the ball in is a good one into the far stick, and it's an awkward volley for Cipriano. He does well to get it on target, but never really threatening. But yeah, this is a really good start from Posh.
But it remains goalless on the night on TalkSport 2. Rodriguez for Oxford United, tight to this near touchline, manages to take the ball away from Collins. Good skill from Ruben Rodriguez, forces it through to Mark Harris, 25 yards out. Harris now drifting down the right hand side of the area, tries to dink it to the far post for Murphy, and it's put behind by Collins for Oxford United's first corner of the game at the terrace end to our right. 0-0.
Yeah, both teams have got attacking intent, and it makes sense. Oxford is a big reward here. They can get themselves the first goal of the game. It means Peterborough need 3 to win, or 2 at least to take it to penalties. So yeah, they carry a big threat themselves. That was good play from Rodriguez, who outmuscled Archie Collins.
7 minutes gone, 0-0. Oxford have this corner to be taken by Joe Bennett, a left-footed in-swinger, very deep beyond everybody. Of course, they scored their goal at the Kazam on Saturday from a corner kick that Cameron Brannigan headed back across goal for Elliot Moore to nod home, but a bit too much club there from Joe Bennett. Goal kick, 0-0.
Yeah, poor delivery. Peterborough have let in 19 from set pieces, which is among the highest in League One. So that is an Achilles heel, and I think that Oxford will obviously look to play on it. I thought the marking set up for the goal that separates these two sides was pretty poor. But Cipriano on Elliot Moore, that shouldn't really have happened.
No, he forgot where Elliot Moore was when Brannigan was in the process of winning that header across the face of goal. Just switched off for a nanosecond, and that was all that Elliot Moore needed to find the space to put Oxford United ahead. And here they are with Josh Murphy just trying to clip in field, but a little chop ball inside the centre circle took him straight into the path of a Peterborough United player. And the ball's back with the impressive centre-half Ronnie Edwards. I saw him at Barnsley earlier in the season. I thought, well, that's another excellent centre-half that Peterborough United have.
It's good
on the hands, joined from Barnet a few years ago.
Lovely passer, isn't he? And he's an immaculate defender. I think for someone of his age, he's top quality.
Now here's Josh Knight playing the ball down the right-hand side, the other Peterborough centre-half, looking for the run of Ricky J. Jones, but across came Kieran Brown, just thumped it into the lower tier of that south stand opposite our commentary position. So it's a throw to Peterborough United. 9 minutes gone on TalkSport 2 in the EFL playoffs in League One. Oxford still holding that 1-0 advantage from the first leg on Saturday evening, but Peterborough United in possession with the aforementioned Ronnie Edwards, just shy of the halfway line. Squares the ball left for Burrows. Now Randall picks it up, tries to drop the shoulder and drift away from Owen Dale, but to put out for a throw to Peterborough. Straight back into play from Mason Clark onto the chest of Burrows on halfway, and he spots Ricky J. Jones on the far side of the field, or was it Kwame Poku? Forgive me, he found, but it was headed out of play for a throw. Poku will collect the throw, try and drift infield to the edge of the area. Kieran Brown just stumps it clear as best he can for Oxford United, but it's back with the blue shirts of Peterborough. Mason Clark calling for it on this near touchline, receives it now and will have a run again at Finn Stevens, gets to level the edge of the area. Little running field by Harrison Burrows, almost picked out, but Mason Clark goes again with a cross and it's flicked behind by Kieran Brown, and Peterborough have their second corner of the night away to our left. 0-0.
Yeah, it's repeat, isn't it? It's give the ball to Efra Mason Clark. He'll make something happen. On this occasion he whips a lovely ball into the box, and it's difficult to deal with. They have to concede the corner. This is a really good period.
Left-footed in-swinger from Harrison Burrows, where the disco stand meets the south stand. In it comes to the near post, and it's volleyed clear by Owen Dale. Josh Murphy gamely giving chase, will keep it in play on the far side and try and launch an Oxford United counter-attack. Yellow shirts trying to get up there with him. Dale is at the far post as Murphy gets the ball into the box. White drop for Harris, who tries to nod it down, and a brilliant challenge from Cipriano to stop the shot coming in from inside the area by Tyler Goodrum, and Peterborough try and bring it clear.
Wow.
But a swift counter-attack, Adrian Clark.
What a piece of defending from Cipriano. That was needed. He needed to time it, and he did.
Rodriguez with a cross this time for Oxford, and it's turned behind by Katongo a bit nervously. There was nobody behind him in Oxford yellow, but he felt he had to turn it behind all the same at the terrace end for Oxford's second corner of the match. 0-0.
Yeah, look, we've been singing the praises of Efra Mason Clark down the Peterborough United left, but down the Oxford left is another very, very good player in Josh Murphy, and we saw that there. He turned defence into attack ever so quickly, put a very dangerous ball into the box, and from it he has to make that tackle, Cipriano, which is perfect.
Well, he may well take the corner, Josh Murphy, right-footed in-swinger, but it's a very comfortable clearance at the near post by the first defender, Harrison Burrows. Randall collects the ball inside his own half, and he's barged into by Goodrum. Free kick to Peterborough United. It's all pretty high tempo. There's an occasional bit of quality, but there's understandable nerves about London Road. 11 minutes gone, 0-0. Here's Mason Clark again for Peterborough, winning another corner as he hits it against the thigh of Finn Stevens, trying to whip it in from this near side the left. 0-0.
How many corners have we had already, Dan? 5. I mean, yeah, it's just sweeping from one end of the pitch to the other, and the move is normally ending up with a corner kick. It's been a very, very exciting end-to-end start to the match. Nothing too cagey about this.
Joel Randall standing over the corner kick, but he has Harrison Burrows for the short option. Uses Burrows on this near side, the left for Peterborough United. They still have possession down by the corner flag. Lovely ball in field. Burrows along the dead ball line tries to put the cross in. It's caught behind by Finn Stevens for another Peterborough United corner. 0-0.
So clever, the short corner. It's a 2v2, so they've not got the overload, but it's a beautiful little slip pass between defenders from Randall to Harrison Burrows, and his cross was cut out for another corner. That was intricate football from Peterborough.
This one goes into the box from Joel Randall, flicked on at the near post by Josh Knight and over the bar, and it'll be an Oxford United goal kick away to our left-hand side. So Des Buckingham's side still holding that 1-0 advantage from the first leg. 13 gone on the night. It's 0-0. Adrian Clark.
It's been a lot of fun. I mean, maybe not for the supporters involved, but yeah, this has the makings of a terrific match. Both teams explosive on the break, and the two standout duels are Murphy against Katongo on that far side, and clearly on the left here Mason Clark against Finn Stevens, and that is the duel that I would be worried about if I was Oxford United, because Mason Clark is in the mood.
Yeah, who knows whether this will be Ephraim Mason Clark's last game in the royal blue of Peterborough before he moves to the sky blue of Coventry City.
Last game here.
Certainly last game at London Road. You're dead right, Adrian. You want to turn it on for this sellout crowd. Executive boxes opposite us. One of them has a TalkSport logo over the top, which I assume meant it must be Adrian Durham's own,
I think that could
penthouse
be.
suite.
There's a throne in there, I think.
Yes,
from here.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it's got the awards that he keeps winning,
like the one he won last night for Game Day at the Ariat Radio Awards. Game Day back on Saturday with Adrian firmly in charge. What sort of mood is he going to be in come Saturday? We'll find out later. It's 0-0 here. Peterborough United in possession. Confab between Darren Ferguson and his coaching staff, and also Des Buckingham having a chat with his coaching staff as well down there. Everyone goes to sit down apart from the two managers, and Poku loses possession for Peterborough on the far right hand side, and it's Cameron Brannigan looking to clip the ball down the right flank for Dale, but that's overhit by Cameron Brannigan. And a quick throw in taken by Burrows gets Peterborough back in possession.
Everything has been quick. As soon as the ball stops, Peterborough on it, whether it's a throw in, whether it's a free kick, a goal kick. I think the clear instructions from Darren Ferguson, the tempo. Keep the tempo really, really high. Do not give this Oxford United side a breather, and they're following that instruction.
Well, 15 minutes gone, Adrian, and it's 77% possession for Peterborough United against Oxford United. But it's still Oxford holding that one goal advantage. We should always bear that in mind. Here is Cipriano on halfway, tucks the ball over to Joel Randall, and it's clipped up to the edge of the Oxford United penalty area. The header clear from Stevens wasn't great, but before Mason Clark could try and set something up, he was set upon by Owen Dale. And Oxford now win it back inside their own half. Goodram's gone down, the Oxford United youngster, wanting some treatment, and the referee's brought play to a halt so that he can get treatment. A reminder that over on TalkSport right now, it's the second leg between Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. Score locked at 2-2 from the first leg. Jim Proudfoot and Stuart Pearce are your commentary team for that game. But you're listening to Peterborough United 0, Oxford United 0 in the EFL League One playoffs on TalkSport 2 with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the McDonald's app and get tasty rewards points. It's 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. More live football tomorrow night. Olympiacos against Aston Villa from Piraeus in Athens. Jim Proudfoot and Andy Townsend will be your commentary team. Olympiacos holding that 4-2 advantage from the first leg at Villa Park. And there's more playoff football for you on Friday night. Doncaster, who were quite brilliant against Crewe in the first leg, back in South Yorkshire. Jim's going to be on commentary for that one, along with Courtney Sweetman-Kirk for that second leg. Goodrum just getting to his feet, incidentally. We'll be back underway momentarily here at London Road. Game day, I can tell you about that. Fulham Manchester City at 12:30 on TalkSport, an exclusive commentary. And I'll be at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium with Chris Llewellyn. Will Burnley be relegated on Saturday? If they win, they may still have a chance going into final weekend, and Tottenham, as we know, blow hot and extremely cold. I'll be alongside Chris Llewellyn for that. And then Milton Keynes Dons against Crawley, another brilliant performance last night from Scott Lindsay's Crawley, tomorrow night. And in the Europa Conference League, Fiorentina have knocked out Club Brugge 1-1 on the night, 4-3 on aggregate to the Italians. And we're back underway here, and Tyler Goodrum's going to be allowed back onto the pitch in just a moment. But Oxford coming forward down the left-hand side, looking for Josh Murphy, but another Josh Knight, hooks it out of play for a throw to the visitors down their left-hand side, 0-0.
Yeah, look, possession-wise, it's been Peterborough that have dominated, like you say, about 75% possession. I don't expect that to last. I think Oxford would like to get a little bit more of the ball, but what we have seen from them is very direct attacks. They've turned defence into attack very efficiently, and they've not been afraid to go long. I think they maybe sense Peterborough have got a high line and they're looking to play the ball over those two centre halves. So that's something to keep your eye on longer this game goes on. Here we go again, there's another one.
Long ball down the left for Josh Murphy, who's going to get there ahead of Josh Knight. Pulls it across the face of goal, but Knight turns it behind for a corner kick, and he had to make that because Mark Harris was just waiting for a pullback 6 yards in front of goal. But a brilliant interception from Josh Knight means it's just a corner for Oxford United in the end, 0-0.
It's a great piece of defending, but it's too easy. There's no pressure on the ball, and they've clipped to put one straight ball over the whole team for Josh Murphy to chase. They've got to get their distances better than that, or put a bit more pressure on the pass.
Oxford United's third corner of the evening, and again it's Josh Murphy who's going to strike it, right-footed in-swinger, actually plays it short and gets it back, left-hand corner of the area, just chips it to the far post, looking for Elliot Moore, and a high boot from him on Cipriano, spotted by the assistant. In fact, it's offside that goes up against the Oxford United captain, and Peterborough have a free kick. Peterborough beat Oxford here in the regular season. It was 3-0 in early December, but then Oxford walloped Peterborough at the Kazam in the regular season, so make of that what you will. It was 5-0 at the Kazam in the other game.
Oh, nice.
Lovely skill from Kwame Poku on the right-hand side, keeping it in field. Katongo finds Randall in the centre circle. Spreads play out to the left-hand side. Mason Clark, again, driving for the byline, left-hand side. Checks onto his right foot, lays it back to Burrows at the edge of the area. Cross to the far post, knocked down by Cipriano. Randall with his back to goal has to give it back to the Cypriot, Cipriano. Work back into midfield for Katongo for Peterborough. Cipriano on the right wing. First time touch down the right-hand side of the box, looking for Kwame Poku, but brilliant interception by Joe Bennett, and it's thumped downfield, but Peterborough will retrieve possession. 0-0.
Yeah, that was the first we've really seen of Kwame Poku. Excellent talent, just wriggled his way past a couple of players, and surprise, Peterborough moved the ball left, where they've got Burrows and Mason Clark. For me, that's the best left-sided combination in League One.
Is Cameron Brannigan, who scored 9 penalties this season for Oxford United. Back he goes to Kieran Brown, Oxford centre half. To his right is his captain, Elliot Moore. Keeps the ball away from Ricky J. Jones, and it's worked back out to Joe Bennett. Almost for the first time tonight, the game's just slowed a little as Oxford decide to keep possession in their own defensive third.
Yeah, they're just having a breather. It's been really, really frenetic. But from these situations, they've been booming balls over the top of the Peterborough back before they go again.
They're looking for Mark Harris this time, but Josh Knight gets a call from his keeper. Steer says, go underneath it, it's coming my way.
Yeah, I think it's better to use as a surprise tactic rather than something that they do as a matter of course, because Peterborough will get very accustomed to it and just drop their line accordingly. But it's a ploy that has had some success in the first 21 minutes.
That's the voice of Adrian Clark, former Arsenal and Stevenage winger, on your home with the EFL playoffs, TalkSport 2. We played 21 minutes of the first half. Peterborough United 0, Oxford United 0. Still 1-0 to Oxford United from Saturday's first leg, if you're just tuning in. So the jeopardy's still very, very much there in this second leg, with Bolton waiting at Wembley for the winners. Ephraim Mason-Clark jinks in field to try and get away from Stevens, who fouls him again, and that's a free kick. Ruben Rodriguez has had a bit too much to say, I think, to referee Andrew Kitchings. Just getting a little warning there. He didn't foul the player, but I think he complained too much about the award of the free kick, and he's just getting the final warning before a yellow card comes next to match the colour of his shirt.
It won't be long before Finn Stevens gets a yellow for persistent fouling on Mason Clark. He just can't handle him at the moment. He's too fast, he's too strong, he's too skillful. I think that is an avenue that Peterborough United have just got to persist with. Just make Ephraim Mason-Clark sick of the sight of the ball, because I think that he can really torment the visitors.
Peterborough's free kick, centre of the Oxford United half. Burrows swings it to the far post. Knight tries to bring it down, sends it goal, tipped wide by Cumming for another Peterborough corner. It was a snapshot from the centre half. Josh Knight got hold of it well enough, but pushed behind by the Oxford United keeper. 0-0.
Yeah, good save Cumming. It was Burrows that puts the ball in the box. It's really good control from Josh Knight. He doesn't hurry, and then he takes an extra touch, and he's sort of on the slide as he strikes it. It deflects into the keeper, who tips it wide, but that's a chance.
Short corner work back into midfield for Collins for Peterborough. Now Randall out on the right hand side, trying to nick it in field, and it was won back by Oxford, and Brannigan looks to release Josh Murphy down the left hand side, racing after the ball with Collins, but he won't get there first. The ball just skips ahead of him on this freshly watered playing surface and goes out for a Peterborough throw. This time they didn't go over the top, they try and go through Peterborough United with a long ball downfield.
They do look a little bit susceptible, don't they, Posh, to those longer passes.
Now down the left hand side for Peterborough, Harrison Burrows gets to the byline, tries to whip the ball across, but it shanks off the outside of his left boot and goes into the Peterborough fans behind that goal. In the desk goes stand to our left for a goal kick to Oxford. 8 corners already, midway through the first half, no goals scored, but it's been riveting stuff, Adrian Clark.
Absolutely, yeah. There's intent, positive intent from Peterborough United, as you'd expect, but also from Oxford United, who haven't seen a lot of the ball, but whenever they have, they've had a cutting edge, they've had penetration, and they've caused Peterborough United 1 or 2 nervy moments. We haven't had that many shots in the game. I don't think the keepers have been particularly busy, but it has flown from one end of the pitch to the other. It's been very, very entertaining.
Ball's back with Ronnie Edwards in the centre of his own half for Peterborough. Harris comes to close him down, so it's played out left to Harrison Burrows, just shy of the halfway line. Plays it up and over halfway into the feet of Mason Clark. He holds it up. Back it goes to Collins in the centre circle. Now Knight, who's just had that good half chance for Peterborough, works it out to Poku on the far right hand side. Plenty of yellow shirts around him, but Poku keeps his foot on the ball, goes for the byline. Guess what? It's a corner. Had 1 or 2 of those. Most of them have gone Peterborough's way. There's another one away to our left, 0-0.
Yeah, just racking up the corners. So far, I have to say that Des Buckingham's Oxford have dealt pretty well with the set-piece threats of the home side. You know that Knight, in particular, carries a threat from these kind of situations. Always having a real tangle in there as well.
He is having a right old scrap with Joe Bennett in there, as Burrows sends the corner in under the crossbar, headed out by Kieran Brown to this near side, and it will go out of play for a Peterborough United throw, which Archie Collins wants to take quickly, but he doesn't really have an option that's that close to him at this point. Now Randall will collect the ball from him, flip it back to Edwards on the halfway line. To his right is Katongo. Poku showing down the far right hand side of the field from us, but it's gone back into the centre circle for Edwards. Now Randall, short pass into Collins. Collins, though, under pressure from Goodrum, has to lay it back to Josh Knight on halfway. Mason Clark again calling for it on this left hand side, but on this occasion Finn Stevens gets his head to the ball, and then there was a push on Owen Dale by Cipriano, and that gives Oxford United a chance to clear their lines. 26 and a half minutes gone on TalkSport 2. Peterborough United 0, Oxford United 0. Adrian Clark.
What they really lack, though, Peterborough, is probably a Johnson, Clark, Harris, someone to get on the end of all these crosses, because they're flying down the wings. Poku and Mason Clark are terrific wingers. Burrows puts beautiful balls into the box, but hasn't got a lot of presence. Ricky J. Jones at the top end of the pitch.
Rodriguez darting down the left-hand side. It's picked up by Josh Murphy for Oxford. Whips the ball into the box. Almost made its way through to Dale. And then Goodrum tries a drive. And it comes off Collins. And another corner. This time goes Oxford United's way. 10 corners. And we've not reached half an hour yet. 0-0.
Yeah, look, almost every shot is being blocked for a corner. The goalkeepers, as I said, haven't been particularly busy at all. But yeah, there's no shortage of attempts on goal. I do feel that Oxford pose a little bit more threat from these set piece situations. Peterborough a little bit edgy. They've got a big man-to-man set up here around about the penalty spot, just outside it.
Left-footed in-swinger to come from Joe Bennett for Oxford at the terrace end to our right. Onto the 6-yard line, headed clear by Josh Knight. And then down goes Randall, who's being manhandled by Tyler Goodrum. No yellow card for the Oxford United youngster.
He's lucky, isn't he?
He is lucky, because that was a definite opportunity for Peterborough to launch a counter-attack and get men over. 0-0.
It's a cynical foul, because the corner comes in, it's clear to Randall, and he kind of spins Goodrum in his way, albeit inside his own half. There's maybe one defender back. But yeah, that was a cynical, professional foul. I think should have seen a caution.
Now Mason Clark is barged over by Rodriguez, another player who's already been spoken to by Andrew Kitchen, the referee. Mason Clark's been the most definite target, and the referee says, no, I'm not ready for you to take the free kick yet. But I've a word with some of these players in yellow. 0-0.
Yeah, I think it's the captain. Cameron Brannigan's been called over. Elliot Moore's getting involved as well. He's just having a word saying, look, I don't mind a bit of aggression. It's a playoff semi-final, but you boys are taking it a little bit far at the minute. It does feel as if they're targeting Mason Clark. Every time he gets it, if he's got time, he'll run at them, but if he hasn't got time, they will clatter into him and stop him in his tracks. It's been very aggressive.
The boos you can hear is just because no yellow card has been issued by the referee. We play on, and Peterborough have restarted. We approach the half-hour mark on TalkSport 2 in this second leg of the League One playoff semi-finals. Oxford United still 1-0 up from Saturday's first leg, and they have possession with Rodriguez. And then Mark Harris chops into Cipriano, and now we have a yellow card. Well, I don't suppose Oxford United could say they weren't warned. And it was Mark Harris's challenge on Cipriano that has earned that first yellow card of the night for the Oxford striker.
Yeah, next one was always going to get a yellow. Simple as that. And Mark Harris is a bit daft, because they've just had that stoppage in play. The referee's having a moan at the Oxford players for maybe overstepping it a little bit. And what happens within a minute? Mark Harris goes in on Cipriano. So yeah, that's a nailed on yellow card. Yeah, just had a couple of shots on target, haven't we, from Peterborough? Nothing so far from Oxford, but they have carried a threat.
Well, Cipriano's back on his feet and ready to take the free kick, but Tyler Goodrum, who had treatment about 5 minutes or so ago, is sat back on his backside again on the halfway line, getting some treatment. Gives me a chance to remind you that the Championship joined the playoff party on Sunday afternoon, and both of the first legs of the Championship semi-finals are live on TalkSport. I will be with Scott Minto at Carrow Road. That's a high noon kickoff, Norwich City against Leeds United. That's a sellout. Can't get a ticket for love nor money, but you can listen to it live and free on TalkSport. And then straight after that, we'll be off to the Hawthorns for West Bromwich Albion against Southampton in that first leg. Now, you watch a lot of EFL. You've got your What the EFL podcast, Adrian Clark.
Yes.
Where's your money? Is it going to be a Leeds-Southampton final? That's what the points tallies might suggest.
Yeah, I think it's quite open, actually. I think that Norwich are more than capable of turning Leeds over at Carrow Road. Got a great home record. Not such good travellers. Of course, you pick Leeds and Southampton as the two best teams, the two stronger outfits, but I think if a lot depends on the first legs. I think if Norwich and West Bromwich Albion can get an advantage, it puts so much pressure on those two giants to deliver in front of their own fans. And as we've seen towards the end of the season, Leeds and Southampton have stuttered big time.
Both those semi-final first legs on TalkSport Sunday afternoon from noon. Tyler Goodrum is unable to continue for Oxford United, just limping off to this near touchline. So Marcus McGain, former Arsenal Academy graduate, Adrian Clark might remember him, 25 years of age. McGain is on for a first half enforced substitution for Oxford United at 0-0.
Yeah, he's a good player. It's a shame for Goodrum to have to come off, but yeah, he's a decent player. Captain the under-21s at Arsenal. Moved to Barcelona B.
Yes, he did.
That was his big move, and then it didn't really work out there. But he's come back and he's making a career for himself at Oxford, and he's doing pretty well.
Yeah, again, went to Barcelona in 2018, but ended up at Oxford 2 years later. And he's on in place of Goodrum. Oxford trying to win the ball inside their own half. Cipriano gets ahead first for Peterborough United, and then Burrows wins a throw-in off Rodriguez on this near side. So 32 minutes gone in the first half, 0-0 on the night, 1-0 on aggregate to Oxford United. You're listening to TalkSport 2 in the EFL playoffs. I don't know whether Ian Evatt is here or whether he's just listening to TalkSport 2 tonight, but the Bolton manager has more than a passing interest in what's going on here. Peterborough and Bolton drew 3-3 on the final day of the regular season, you might recall. Here's Mason Clark for Peterborough, trying to show some strength to keep away from Stevens, who's been an irritant to him all game. Collins rolls it right for Peterborough to Katonga. Now Poku on the far right hand side. He's got Joe Bennett for company once again. Checks onto his left, sends an early crossing. Brannigan heads it half clear, but Cipriano sends it straight back out to the right hand side for Peterborough and Katonga. Now Collins just chips the ball down the right hand side, but Randall pushed into Kieran Brown as he tried to retrieve possession. Wasn't kidding the assistant on that far side. That's a free kick to Oxford United. 0-0 on the night, 1-0 to Oxford on aggregate.
Yeah, they need, I think, Peterborough United to get Joel Randall onto the ball a little bit more often. Whenever he has, he's linked play nicely and he's spread it wide, usually to Mason Clark, but sometimes out to Poku as well. I think he is the guy that gels the team together. He links the midfield with the attack, and at the moment he's probably not having enough touches of the ball. They get him onto it more frequently. I think they create more chances, Peterborough.
Peterborough have spent 10 of their last 11 seasons at League One level, save for the 21-22 season where they were in the Championship. They finished top 10 in each of the last 6 seasons that they played in League One. Very consistent finishing positions, and a variety of managers, including Darren Ferguson more than once. Oxford, meantime, haven't played at the Championship level since the 98-99 campaign, which was around the time when the Kazam Stadium came into being.
Yeah, I played at the old Manor Ground for Southend.
Was the slope that bad?
Might have been in the Championship as it happens. The slope was big, but it was a lovely ground in terms of, like, it was nice and picturesque, and it was always packed because it was so small. But yeah, the slope was big.
Now McGrain's just given away a corner. Had an anvil in his boot trying to get the ball back to his goalkeeper, and Peterborough suddenly have a corner out of nothing away to our left hand side. Randall for a moment was desperate to spot it down and take it quickly, but by the time he was ready to take it, he realised there was nobody there in a blue shirt up there with him, so he's taken his time instead.
Yeah, it's about time they got one of these right, Peterborough. The first contact has often been an Oxford head. Who could Harrison Burrows pick out here? He's got some big targets.
We're just having a word with one or two. Josh Knight and Owen Dale he's having a word with. Harrison Burrows once again to deliver the corner kick for Peterborough. Left-footed in-swinger into the near post, headed out by Elliot Moore. Now Josh Murphy trying to bring the ball down and get down the pitch for Oxford United, but Randall wins it back. Oh, he's hit it against the on-rushing Owen Dale, but out comes Jed Steer, the Peterborough keeper. Great starting position for the man in all pink, and he won it back for Peterborough United. Is it just looked a little nervy for the moment, and Oxford United appeared to have half a chance of a counter-attack.
Yeah, it was one of those situations where he's facing his own goal, he's got a player breathing down his neck, and he's the last man, Joel Randall. He tries to be clever and tries to turn and flick a pass around the corner. It could have been very embarrassing, but the keeper bails him out.
Oxford coming forward again down the right-hand side with their striker Mark Harris. Plays it back infield to Ruben Rodriguez. Dale turns it down the right wing, looking for Harris to make the run again, but this time Josh Knight puts himself between ball and man and lets the ball trickle out over this dead ball line for a Peterborough throw. 0-0 the score. 37 minutes played of this first half. Talking of skills, because of that Crawley goalkeeper last night.
He's got a bit of tickers, hasn't he?
Bringing the ball out of the sky, letting the ball drop over his shoulder, and then leapfrogging a defender or attacker right who came out at him. Extraordinary goalkeeper.
Super confident. He was on TalkSport earlier, actually. I was listening to him on the way in. He was just trying to talk Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent through it. He was very modest. But yeah, he's a really good keeper. I think he's been one of the best goalkeepers in League Two for sure.
Scott Lindsay's got Crawley cooking very nicely. They take a commanding lead back down to for the second leg of that against
Stadium MK.
Stadium MK against MK Dons.
Saturday night it's been rearranged for.
That's right.
I think I'm there alongside Alex Crook. Could it be another comeback?
Well, we saw Barnsley do their level best last night to come back against Bolton. Well, wouldn't you just know it, there's a corner been awarded here. Peterborough's 8th of the half, as again Harrison Burrows tries to send the ball in from this near side of the left, and it comes off the thigh of Finn Stevens. Yeah. Now what they're going to try here, this is corner number 8 for Peterborough.
Corner ball, isn't it, here at London Road. Look, they've tried these short ones from the left, and on the other side it's been the in-swinger. I think here they're going to, Randall fancies this, he's going to whip this underneath the crossbar.
Be a right-footed in-swinger from Randall. It's got a lot of pace on it, but headed out by Moore. Out to the edge of the area, fired back in by Collins, and Elliot Moore just flung himself in the way of the ball. That might well have been goal-bound from Archie Collins, but the Oxford captain got his granite head to it and got it clear. Out for a throw, 0-0.
Well, that was travelling. That was a serious volley from Archie Collins. It comes out and it's hanging in the air, and I think he's surely going to take a touch, but he doesn't. He's confident enough to strike it first time, and he hits it so sweetly. It's clean as you like, and yeah, Elliot Moore, not for the first time across these two matches, makes the block.
Mason Clark is caught by Finn Stevens. Here's the most obvious yellow card of the night so far, as Finn Stevens gets the caution for one too many fouls on the Peterborough United number 10. And you heard what Adrian Clark made of that challenge, 0-0.
Well, I felt it from here. You know, it's one of those, I used to be a winger. It's one of those where you sort of, it's coming, but you just nick it past the player, knowing that the defender's committed and they're going to clean you out, and you just have to accept it. It probably looked worse than what it was. It doesn't seem hurt, thankfully, but Finn Stevens is in for a torrid evening here, and he's on a yellow now, and I think if I'm Des Buckingham, I'm looking at my options. What can I do, because he might be a red card waiting to happen.
Free kick to Peterborough United, almost at the left-hand corner of the Oxford United penalty area, away to our left-hand side. Again, Randall and Burrows are the two players standing over it. Right or left-footed delivery is possible. Oxford holding their line probably about 8 or 9 yards from goal. Or clutch of players in line in both blue and yellow. Burrows will whip it away from the goalkeeper to the far post. Driven in by Josh Knight! Peterborough level on aggregate, and Josh Knight, unmarked to the far post, steered it home expertly along the deck on the half volley, and finally a set piece works for Peterborough United. It's 1-0 on the night, but crucially it's now level on aggregate. Peterborough 1, Oxford 0.
The cleanest of volleys from Josh Knight. They've had so many set-piece opportunities, Peterborough, in this first half, and most of them have come to nothing. This time it's Burrows with the outswinger, and he's unmarked at the far stick, Josh Knight, and he hits it so cleanly. It's almost a half volley. It's on the deck, and it whistles along the turf. Absolutely no chance for the goalkeeper. It's a goal that's been coming, and it's a goal that the Posh deserved.
Josh Knight, who made his debut for Posh against Oxford way back in 2019, has brought us level on aggregate in the League One playoff semi-finals. There's a few smoke bombs of the blue persuasion that have been lobbed onto the pitch, and every time one of the poor stewards goes to retrieve one, another one gets thrown on in its place. So there's a cloud of blue smoke billowing up away to our left-hand side, but it is the pressure valve released a little bit amongst the support here at London Road, Adrian Clark.
Definitely, because they hadn't really tested Jamie Cumming that much for all of their good play, for all of the pressure, all of those corners. So to make the breakthrough on the eve of half-time, 3 minutes before the break, is a massive relief to all of the home fans inside this stadium. There was an outpouring of emotion, really good scenes, and now it's basically a 45-minute tie, isn't it? 45 minutes and we're at Wembley.
It's only now that we can get play restarted, because there must have been 4 or 5 blue smoke bombs in a row thrown on. As soon as one was retrieved, another one was thrown onto the playing surface. But we are finally back underway on TalkSport 2. All square on aggregate, and Peterborough United have the ball in front of their own penalty area. Ronnie Edwards, good strong run up to halfway, plays it out left to Harrison Burrows. Burrows being held up for a moment by Dale, sends it back to Edwards just over the halfway line, tucks infield for Archie Collins, and here's the goal scorer on the night, Josh Knight. Out to the right-hand side looking for Poku. Good header cleared by Bennett for Oxford. But Peterborough win it back. Poku again up against Brannigan and Bennett down that far right-hand side for the Posh. Drives for the ball on. Tries to go inside Bennett, but Bennett got an important touch. But it goes out of play for a Peterborough goal on their right next to the corner flag. 1-1 on aggregate.
Yeah, great noise around this ground. This old ground, got a history. And they're enjoying what they're seeing from their team. It's been a really positive first half display, and they deserve to be back level in the tie. There's no doubt about that. What a ball in, by the way, from Burrows. He has got a fantastic left foot.
Well, that's assist number 15 if you add on to what he's been doing in the regular season for Peterborough United, Burrows. And the way he sends the ball in, he attacks the ball from a really acute angle and gets a real whip on the ball. And Knight, I don't know who was meant to be picking up Adrian Clark, but he was all on his own, but he still had to control that as it landed on the half volley, and it was superbly controlled into the bottom corner.
It really was. It wasn't an easy ball, because, as you say, Burrows puts in a lot of a whip, the ball's spinning, and he hits it on the side foot. It's almost like a half volley, but I think it's a volley just above the turf, and he hits it so cleanly and keeps it so low. It's a really fine finish.
I've now got the scent of pyro smoke in my nostrils from those blue smoke bombs that finally drifted over here to our commentary position at the Western Home Stadium. These clothes will need washing. Coming up to added time at the end of this first half. We're about to find out from the fourth official, Mr. Doughty, how much we will add on. 6 minutes. There's been a few delays. There were a couple of injury stoppages for Tyler Goodrum. We've had the stoppages for the smoke bomb, so we're into an extra 6 minutes at the end of the first half here. 1-0 to Peterborough on the night, 1-1 on aggregate. Oxford with a free kick up to the edge of the area, only half cleared, and Joe Bennett will guide the ball back out to Josh Murphy on the left-hand side. Checks onto his right foot, tries to whip it in from deep inside the half. Only half cleared, but Ricky J. Jones, who's had a quiet first half, gets his head to it. It's one back by Ruben Rodriguez into the edge of the area. Owen Dale tried to get the shot away, and he was caught right on the edge of the area by Archie Collins, and it's a free kick to Oxford United right inside the D, almost on the 18-yard line. 1-1 on aggregate.
Well, it was close, very, very close to being inside the box. it's inches, it's centimetres. It's a definite foul, I think. And it's sloppy, isn't it, from Peterborough, trying to play out, a little bit of a loose pass, and bang, Oxford are at them. And he's coming back from the wrong side of the ball and does make contact with the player. And my instinct was, oh, that could be a penalty, but the referee has given a free kick, but it's dead centre. It is 18.1 yards out.
And Cameron Brannigan takes the penalties. He's going to take this free kick almost like it's a penalty, the way he's going to hit this. There's a 5-man Peterborough wall 8 yards in front of Jed Steer's goal. Joe Bennett runs over the ball. Brannigan right-footed, hits the wall, and it hit the defender. And what's been given as a goal kick? Or is that a handball? What's he spotted there? Andrew Kitchen.
Is this a penalty?
It certainly hit a defender on its way through. Harrison Burrows, I think, was the player that was caught. And I think he's given a penalty to Oxford United. Out of all that, there was a handball in that wall. And it is a penalty, and Cameron Brannigan, as we mentioned, 9 penalties scored this season, now has a penalty to put Oxford back in front on aggregate and level in the tie. Definite handball in the wall from that free kick. And so Oxford United have a chance from 12 yards to get their noses back in front in this semi-final. Only now is Jed Steer getting across to stand on his goal line. Brannigan takes 5 or 6 steps back from the ball, waits for the referee's whistle. Brannigan, right-footed, rolls it in, and Oxford are back in front on aggregate. 1-1 on the night, 2-1 on aggregate, and it's a 10th penalty of the season for Cameron Brannigan that puts Des Buckinghamside back in front in this semi-final.
Call as you like from Cameron Brannigan. He's an experienced player, vastly experienced, and he showed it, sending the goalkeeper the wrong way. He just places it into the bottom corner. The penalty decision was for handball.
Yeah, I've just seen a replay of it. It was Harrison Burrows who came flying out from the wall.
There's no major complaints.
As he was turning, but it was well spotted by the referee and efficiently punished by Cameron Brannigan, as he often does from the penalty spot.
Yeah, it's lethal from Brannigan, and I think it's the right decision. He comes out to charge, sprints out from the side of the wall, and the ball's aimed just to his side, and he puts both arms out. He effectively saves it with his arms. There's Harrison Burrows, and then the referee's made a very, very good decision there.
We played 4 minutes of the minimum 6 that were added on, but there'll be a bit more to add on after the 6 have been played, with the delays and the penalty being spotted and taken and scored by Brannigan. And now it's a corner kick to Oxford at the end of the half, as Owen Dale cleverly hits the ball against the chest of Harrison Burrows right by the dead ball line. And the visitors are finishing this half very, very strongly. Remember, away goals haven't counted in the playoffs for 24 years. It's just the rest of football that's taken its time to catch up with that particular statistical quirk. In the corner where the terrace end meets the main stand that we're sat in here is where Josh Murphy is, with this corner kick for Oxford. Swings it to the far post, or it drops beyond everybody to Brannigan, who tries to volley it back goalwards, and it lands on the roof of the main stand. Well caught by Jed Steer. Goal kick to Peterborough, but it's 1-1 on the night, 2-1 to Oxford United on aggregate.
Yeah, look, this tie is still very much alive. There's all sorts of jeopardy to come in the second period. Look, this is the fine margins. Peterborough have played well. They lose the ball inside their own half. Yeah, it's just one small error, and Oxford are at them, and it's a definite foul on the edge of the box. Was it Cipriano who's back there? Who gave it away? I think it was. It was right on the edge, just inside the thing.
There, but it was basically denying Dale the chance to take a shot on goal. It was just a tangle of legs.
It was a definite free kick, and for me a definite penalty. And you have to say the response from Oxford to going behind has been outstanding.
It's their first goal in 5 visits to London Road, Oxford, in getting that equaliser on the stroke of half time. Ball's back with Josh Knight, who had fired Peterborough in front. Diagonal ball right to left, picking out Mason Clark, takes it down on his chest. Facing up Finn Stevens, who's walking that tightrope, having been booked for a heavy challenge on Mason Clark just a few minutes ago. Approaching half-time. The 6 minutes have been played that were minimum stoppage time minutes. Burrows tries to whip across in for Peterborough, comes out to Mason Clark, plays the ball across the facing goal. Randall, for the first time, instinctive effort, tipped over the bar by Cumming for the 9th corner of the half to Peterborough United. 1-1 on the night, 2-1 aggregate Oxford.
It's a brilliant instinctive half volley from Joel Randall. Effort from Mason Clark, just manoeuvres space, clips it into the box, and he just swivels about 10 yards out. It's a really good effort, well saved by Cumming.
So Randall with the corner where the main stand meets the Desco stand away to our left. Whips in under the crossbar. Players were firing across and nobody got a touch. Collins tries to bring the ball down at the edge of the area. Cleared away. I think Ronnie Edwards was the closest to it from that centre. And the offside flag goes up against Cipriano, and Oxford United can clear the ball downfield. They won't have to because the referee has said that's enough for a really high tempo first half. I'll run you through the lineups in just a moment. Peterborough in blue shirts and shorts and white socks will be attacking the London Road Terrace that they love to attack in the second half of matches. Oxford in their yellow shirts and socks and black shorts, they'll be attacking the Desco stand to our far left-hand side, as Adrian and I are at the back of the main stand here. Back underway on TalkSport 2. Oxford holding that 1 goal advantage on aggregate. 1-1 on the night, 2-1 on aggregate. And already a dangerous ball by Jed Steer, which he's hacked clear at the second attempt, and Peterborough make an absolute Horlicks of trying to get the ball out their own penalty area and present Oxford with a throw at the start of the second half. Yeah, that's not the sort of start to a half that you're looking for. You want to kick off for 45 minutes, a big 45 minutes with something positive, and that's a bit sloppy. Here's Ricky J. Jones trying to outpace Elliot Moore, and he's got pace to burn. Ricky J. Jones gets away down the left-hand side of the area. Randall stayed up with him, squares it across to give a Poku. Oxford have got players back, only half cleared. Ricky J. Jones with a shot, deflects behind, does it for a corner. That's kept in play right on the dead ball line by Elliot Moore as it's spanned in his favour.
Well, my jaw is open because Ricky J. Jones he put the afterburners on. That was an incredible turn of speed.
Told you he was quick.
He went through the gears there. That was incredible. And where has that been the rest of the game? He's got to open his legs and do that at every single opportunity. Because
something tells me he's been told to do that at half time by his manager.
He was too quiet in that first half. It didn't impact it at all, but that was more like it. And the ball across the face of goal wasn't too shabby either. It almost reached Kwame Poku.
So the lineups for Peterborough: Steer, the keeper, Katongo, Knight, Edwards and Burrows, Cipriano and Collins, Poku, Randall, Mason Clark and Jones. For Oxford, who've been forced to make 2 changes, one because of injury, one because of protecting a player from a red card, as Edwards goes down, caught by Murphy. It's Cumming in goal. Now it's Long, Moore, Brown and Bennett, Brannigan, Dale, Rodriguez, McGrain and Murphy and Harris in attack. Free kick for Josh Knight. Squares it across to his centre-half partner Ronnie Edwards, just outside his own penalty area. Out to the left-hand side, and Harrison Burrows. 2.5 minutes of the second half gone on TalkSport 2. Oxford 2-1 up on aggregate. Knight, again just ahead of his own 18-yard line, squares the ball back for Ronnie Edwards, who will move towards the halfway line, slides it out to the left-hand side where Burrows had advanced into the Oxford half. He goes down under pressure. Dale gets in ahead of Mason Clark for Oxford, but it goes out of play for a Peterborough throw, and the high tempo pace that we saw in the first half looks very, very likely to continue here.
Oh yeah, it's got to, hasn't it? Let's see, your season comes down to 45 minutes here. What have Peterborough United got left?
Here's Hector Cipriano bursting through midfield. Good ball out to the left-hand side, and Mason Clark pulls it back. Randall hits it straight against Joe Bennett. Plays for handball from the London Road Terrace to our right-hand side, but Oxford have won it back, and they're trying to set Josh Murphy away on the counter-attack. Across comes Knight and protects the ball, stops it going behind for a corner kick, but he has almost given the ball back, and now he's conceded a goal kick. In the end, I thought it was a corner, but it came off Mark Harris last of all. But a swift move from Peterborough, and Joel Randall, I'm not sure whether that was heading goalwards or it was on target, but Joe Bennett did enough for Oxford United to keep them ahead on the tie.
Yeah, look, it's a sensational play again from Mason Clark down the left. Skips down the sides, puts a brilliant ball across, and I think it's goal. It has goal written all over it, and I think Joel Randall's skied it. I think he's got underneath the shot. I think it's probably going to go over anyway. And then there are appeals for a handball. I mean, the arm does come out. I have to say, I've seen the replay, but it's from very much close range. He gets underneath his shot, Randall. I'm not sure that was going to end up in the back of the net, but it's a shout for a penalty. Referee probably right not to give it.
So it remains 1-1 on the night, 2-1 on aggregate to Oxford United. 4.5 minutes of the second half gone on TalkSport 2. Burrows picks up possession once again for Peterborough United down the far left-hand side. Gets it back from Mason Clark. Swings an early ball in. Touch towards goal by Jones, and clutched gratefully into the chest of Jamie Cumming. And he will take his time before clearing from hands.
He's got to do better there at the near post. It's a lovely ball into the box. Gets across his man. It's a feeble attempt, isn't it? He sort of sticks out a leg. It's neither here nor there. He's got to do a little bit better there, Ricky J. Jones. I've seen another replay of that penalty shout, and for me, even though the arm is out, the ball strikes the chest of the Oxford defender. So the referee was absolutely right not to give a penalty.
Ephraim Mason Clark getting more roughhouse treatment and wins another free kick. He's clearly been targeted by a number of players on Oxford's right-hand side. Free kick taken quickly, midway point of the half, and it's worked out to Mason Clark, hugging the far touchline. Now he's got Sam Long for company. Thinks about clipping the ball right-footed to the box from a little deeper. Instead, checks back onto his left foot. Now he tries to swing the cross in, but good recovery from Owen Dale, but he couldn't prevent the ball going out of play for a Peterborough United throw.
Keep giving it to Ephraim Mason Clark. He's definitely in the mood tonight. It's his last game for the club at this stadium, and he's in the mood to twist defenders inside and out.
Coming in field now, Mason Clark plays it back onto square to Kiprianu. Poku holding for a pass on this near side. Katongo looks to release him in behind. Brilliant ball to the byline. Poku pulls it back, and it's put behind by Joe Bennett for another corner. 10th of the game for Peterborough United. 1-1 on the night, but Oxford are a goal in front on aggregate.
Better from Peterborough. Haven't had enough threat down this right-hand side, but that's good play. Katongo inside the fullback for Poku. I think Poku's got to do better with the delivery. It's easily cut out of the near post.
Burrows with a deep corner to the far post, punched away by the fist of Cumming. Comes out to Archie Collins, approaching the edge of the area, sends a right-footed shot, fizzing over the crossbar, and that's a goal kick for Oxford United, who remain 2-1 ahead on aggregate here on your home of the EFL playoffs, TalkSport 2.
Wow. 7 really adventurous, positive minutes for Peterborough United. The message would have been clear. Put Oxford on the back foot, make life hell for them, play at pace, create chances, and that is what they're doing. So they're knocking on the door here, the home team.
You've got to love the playoffs. I think there's 105 teams that have now participated in it, with Crawley taking part in it for the first time.
They just never disappoint. They come up with so many storylines, so many brilliant ties. Just when you think a tie is done, it's not. Some great finals as well, haven't we?
Don't forget, Manchester City have taken part in playoff campaigns before now. Who can forget their extraordinary playoff final win against Gillingham?
Yeah, my old mate Dickoff, former teammate at Arsenal, he made his name, didn't he, there?
Arguably the start of the long road to recovery that's culminated in this extraordinary Manchester City side under Pep Guardiola. There's a part of me that would love to see how Manchester United and Arsenal and Liverpool would cope with a playoff challenge and the tension that comes with it.
Oh, yeah.
It's total gut wrench. Any of you that are listening that are Manchester United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, wait till you're in the midst of it. You might scoff at it, but if your team's in it, it is utter gut wrench.
Oh yeah, no, it's but look, it's where you want to be, unless of course you've blown an automatic promotion spot, like a Leeds United maybe. It's not where you want to be.
Peterborough United had a chance to get involved towards the end of the season.
I never thought they were in pole position.
Yeah, Oxford were second very early on in the campaign, and then of course Liam Manning went off to Bristol City, and Des Buckingham came in. Ball's out of play, right in between the two technical areas as Katongo trying to slide the ball into the path of Peterborough's number 11, Kwame Poku. It's out of play. Oxford have a throw. 9 minutes gone in the second half on TalkSport 2 in the EFL playoffs. Oxford United clinging on to that slender one-goal advantage. That was what they had at the start of the night, and as it's 1-1 on the night, they still have the advantage. Kieran Brown, their centre-half, being closed down by Joel Randall, plays the ball into Joe Bennett. Bennett's got Poku at his back, so he gives the ball back into the feet of Kieran Brown, who centres downfield. It'll drop for Ruben Rodriguez, who spots Owen Dale in space on the far side. Oh, good put in from Harrison Burrows, stayed on his feet and put it out of play for an Oxford United throw. 1-1 on the night, 2-1 to Oxford.
Well, they really do need to concentrate defensively now, because if they concede another one, then it's going to be incredibly tough for them. So they have to keep that back door closed now, and that means that they can't overcommit players into forward areas. Peterborough.
Rodriguez down the right hand side of the box for Oxford, gets to the byline, pulls it back. It's only half clear, but it just ricocheted away from Josh Murphy, and now it's sent out by Poku to this near side, and Jones tries to turn and spin on halfway and fire it down for a teammate, but he couldn't find a teammate, and he ended up catching an Oxford player as he tried to send it downfield. The Oxford player has gone off the side of the pitch. It was Kieran Brown, and he's just limping back onto the field of play. I think Brown has realised that he can't waste any time by lying on his back off the field of play.
I think he's genuinely...
He was caught.
Yeah, caught and maybe a bit winded. Yeah, it was a bit sloppy from Jay Jones there. But look, it just gives Oxford a chance to get their breather in, and they'll just play short from the restart. And this will be the aim of the game now. They'll look to keep the ball for sustained periods. Best form of defence is keeping hold of the ball in the second half.
Long for Oxford United, plays the ball up to halfway, handball by an Oxford player, gives Peterborough a free kick, which they restart quickly. It's rolled into Hector Cipriano at the edge of the centre circle inside his own half. Plays it right for Katongo. Now Poku being forced back into his own half by Bennett. Back it goes to Josh Knight, who opened the scoring 4 minutes from half time for Peterborough United to bring them level on aggregate, only for Cameron Brannigan's penalty to put Oxford back in control of this semi-final. Mason Clark dancing down the left hand side once again. He's got support infield from Cipriano, up to Randall, 25 yards out with his back to goal, finds Kwame Poku, right hand corner of the box, drives it, Bennett pulls it into the near post, well held at his near post by Jamie Cumming, but I don't think that's where Kwame Poku was trying to send the ball.
Part one, excellent. Gets hold of the ball, drags it from left foot to right, goes past the play, no problem, and that's the crucial moment. He's got to put it across the face of goal. He can't put it straight into the goalkeeper's arms there, Kwame Poku, but that's what he does.
Cumming, the Oxford goalkeeper, waiting until the last possible second before he released the ball and sent it downfield with Ricky J. Jones charging him down. Didn't quite get there in time, Jones. And it's a throw to Oxford United. Adrian Clark, former Arsenal and Stevenage winger. Who knows what it's all about, trying to pull the ball back once you've got past your fullback, got to the byline. I assume you have done that.
Yeah, I've done that a few times, but not for a while. But yeah, it's easily done. Of course it is. We all make mistakes, but Kwame Poku is a really talented player, and I think that if he could improve that aspect of his game, they've got a real player on their hands here, Peterborough.
Poku is still only 22, joined after emerging at Colchester United. And it's an Oxford United throw. And Des Buckingham will be very happy to see that his team responded to being pegged back on aggregate so quickly, getting their noses back in front. Bolton await the winners at Wembley later this month. You'll hear it live on the TalkSport network over the Whitsun Bank Holiday weekend. Peterborough in possession with Knight. Slides it into the path of Katongo, who gets up to halfway, right on this near touchline. Infield to Poku. Poku's got two Oxford players, and McGuane takes it off his toe. Almost ricochet back for Peterborough in the end, but Kieran Brown gives it to McGuane on the halfway line. Murphy just ahead of him. McGuane carries it 5 yards further and now finds Josh Murphy tight to this near touchline, and because of the pressure of Katongo and Poku, it's rolled back, and Joe Bennett, the former Middlesbrough and Cardiff fullback, has possession now for Oxford United.
Yeah, it's not 77% possession now, is it, for Peterborough United? Oxford looking to run down the clock a little bit just by keeping the ball, knocking it around between their centre halves and central midfielders. It's down to Peterborough United to get the ball off them at times, and it feels at the moment like they're not seeing enough of the ball, those blue shirts.
Approaching the hour mark at the Western Home Stadium. You're listening to Peterborough United 1, Oxford United 1 in the EFL League 1 on TalkSport 2 with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the McDonald's app and get tasty rewards points. It's 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. Mark Harris for Oxford, holding this 2-1 aggregate advantage. Holds on to Cipriano, who did break clear but was going to be dispossessed by Owen Dale, so the referee brings play back so that Peterborough United can have a free kick inside their own half.
Yeah, that was good from Cipriano. Broke up play and then looked to nick it past his player, and it was a definite foul. But here Peterborough finally got the ball. It feels like we haven't really had it that much, Darren Ferguson's side, for the last 4 or 5 minutes.
Well, the possession stats now at 68% in Peterborough's favour. It was as high as 77 earlier in the match. Oxford win it back. Josh Murphy turns and scampers over the halfway line. Harris is there with him, but Murphy carries the ball downfield brilliantly, whips across into the near post, and Edwards gets the ball under control for Peterborough and will pass very sensibly down to Kwame Poku on this near side as he gets toward the halfway line. Good skill to get away from Bennett, but then across came McGuane and put the ball out of play for a Peterborough throw. 1-1 on the night, 2-1 to Oxford on aggregate.
Yeah, good football. You've got some good wingers on show here tonight. Mason Clark, Murphy and Poku. That was good footwork, wasn't it, from Poku? Lovely piece of defending from Edwards at the near post, and then does what all sort of classy centre half should do. He calms down and plays a simple pass to the feet of his wide man. That was really good.
On the other side for Peterborough, the far side, their left, Mason Clark guides the ball back. Infield to Collins. Now Burrows loses out. Bayern Munich lead in the Bernabeu against Real Madrid.
Wow.
That's live on TalkSport right now. They've got a 3-2 aggregate lead then, the Germans. Alphonso Davies, the Canadian, is the man that scored the goal.
Yeah, he's fullback, rapid, isn't he?
Here's Cipriano for Peterborough United, trying to get level again on aggregate with Oxford United. Cross from the left by Burrows is put out of play as it hits Owen Dale. It's level with the edge of the area, quickly taken throw. Mason Clark trying to roll his defender, only half cleared. Comes out to Josh Knight in the centre of the Oxford half. He's given it away though. Mark Harris brings the ball up to halfway. Couldn't get past Edwards, who got enough on it to allow Josh Knight to retrieve possession for Peterborough. But that jeopardy's starting to emerge now. Adrian Clark for Oxford United. But here come Peterborough. Joel Randall inside left channel. Plays it out to the left wing. Burrows trying to make room for a cross. Thinks into the far post. Great header away by Kieran Brown when really necessary for Oxford United. Poku just behind him.
Defending well at key moments. Moore and Brown had to work hard tonight.
Burrows again for Peterborough, slides it into the area looking for the run of Randall, but it's played too far ahead of him, and Jamie Cumming can come out to the edge of his 6-yard box and pounce on top of the loose ball. 62 minutes gone on TalkSport 2. Peterborough United 1, Oxford United 1, but Oxford crucially 2-1 up on aggregate. Adrian Clark.
Yeah, they're in pole position, and I think they'll start to look at the clock now and look to kill as much time as they can. I think the best way to do it is to keep hold of the ball, but that's a real loose pass pass from the substitute Sam Long.
Which gives Mason Clark the chance to run at long. Comes in field now, Ephraim Mason Clark to the edge of the area, drives it along the deck, and it was actually well saved by Jamie Cumming. Had to push it out in front of him, but there was nobody in Peterborough Blue gambling on him spilling it too far in front of him, so he's able to gather it at the second attempt. 1-1 on the night, 2-1 to Oxford on aggregate.
Yeah, I think Mason Clark's got a right there to say to Ricky J. Jones, where are you? Why aren't you on it? I think he should have anticipated it. I'm not saying it was a big spill. He only came out a yard or so, but I think if a different striker might have been onto the goalkeeper there had they read the script a little bit sooner. But no surprise, it's Mason Clark that continues to make things happen for Peterborough United. I just think he can't do it all on his own. They need more from Randall. They need more from Poku.
Poku trying to control the ball on the halfway line, and he has to put the ball out of play as Josh Murphy protected the ball well on this near side for Oxford United. Joe Bennett's going to have the throw just inside the Peterborough half of the field. Darren Ferguson is in conversation with his coaching staff, waiting for a change to be made by the Posh maybe. They do have attacking options on the bench that Adrian Clark's already mentioned. Malik Mothersill, who's been in decent goal scoring form of late. The experience of Johnson Clark Harris. We'll wait and see what happens if either manager decides to shuffle the pack still further. Oxford already made 2 changes. Katongo for Peterborough gives the ball back to Knight, midway point of his own half. Not really under any pressure, nor is Ronnie Edwards, who has it now. Gets up towards the halfway line. Now he's past the halfway line. Rodriguez goes to engage, so it goes out to the left wing for Peterborough. And Ephraim Mason Clark drops his shoulder to get away from Dale. Can't get away from Sam Long, but gives it back to Burrows. Burrows, left wing cross. Poku tries to get it for a header, but it's well defended by Joe Bennett once again, and kept in play on this near side by Josh Murphy. But his clearance will drop for Archie Collins, 30 yards out. Steers the ball out to the left wing, and Mason Clark down the left-hand side of the box again, pulls it back to the edge of the area. Brannigan heads clear. Burrows gets it back for Peterborough now, left-hand corner of the area. He tries to drive it in, and it's deflected out by Owen Dale for another Peterborough throw on the far side. 1-1 on the night.
Yeah, defending well, the Oxford back four. Bennett, that's a couple of times now the ball's come to the far post. He's been in the right place at the right time.
Cross from Mason Clark is too deep for anybody in Peterborough Blue, and gathered by Jamie Cumming. 25 minutes to go of normal time here on TalkSport 2, your home of the EFL playoffs. And Oxford United, as it stands, are heading to Wembley to play Bolton Wanderers in the final. They've not been at championship level, Oxford, since the 98-99 season. They've had spells in the National League as well as League 1 and League 2 in the interim period, we shouldn't forget.
It'd be quite the achievement to get back up to the championship.
I mentioned Malik Mothersill, and he is going to be on shortly for Peterborough United. Certainly one change about to be made by Darren Ferguson.
Yeah, I think probably for Jay Jones has been, apart from that one electric burst, has been on the edge of this game.
Poku can't get the better of Joe Bennett, but it's out of play for a Peterborough throw level with the edge of the area. But the change is going to be made by Peterborough before that throw comes in, and it is indeed Malik Mothersill, the 20-year-old, coming on for Ricky J. Jones, who gets a warm round of applause. But Mothersill, with 3 goals in his last 5 appearances, joined in September from Chelsea, never made a Premier League appearance for the London side, began his career at Leyton Orient. I saw him score a lovely goal up at Bloomfield Road when Peterborough dumped Blackpool out of the EFL Trophy semi-finals on their way to winning it. Remember, they've already been to Wembley once this season, Peterborough, and triumphed. And he was at the centre of that, so he's on. Straight swap, Peterborough in possession with Joel Randall down the far side of the field. Quarter of the game to go. Ball given away almost by Peterborough, but Josh Knight steps in, and handball by Cameron Brannigan gives Peterborough a free kick in the centre of the Oxford half of the field. Remember, Brannigan profited from a handball to put Oxford in front on aggregate here by 2-1.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and it was a handball from Harrison Burrows. Both arms out to make himself a bigger target.
Mason Clark down the left hand side again for Peterborough, floats the cross in, and it's well watched by Jamie Cumming, who knew that was drifting out of play before it got anywhere near his near post. And it goes out of play for an Oxford United goal kick. And now Oxford will take their time over set pieces, and the referee knows that. He's also been reminded by Hector Cipriano of Peterborough about that.
Yeah, look, they've got to manage the game, haven't they, sensibly. Oxford United, you know, they know what to do. But look, they've defended well across this tie, full stop, because, you know, you can keep a clean sheet against Peterborough United at home. That's good work. And obviously here tonight, you know, they limited them to not that many clear-cut opportunities, Oxford. I commend their off-the-ball work, and I do think their back four's got a lot of character, Dance. I think that Brown and Moore at the heart of it are two real big warriors, but Bennett at left-back's been really good too.
Oxford in their 8th consecutive year at League One level after they won League Two promotion back in 2016. They've had 4 top 8 finishes in the last 5 years under a variety of managers. Incidentally, Bayern are still 1-0 at Real Madrid, put the ball in the back of the net 3 minutes after Bayern Munich scored, but it's ruled out by VAR. So Bayern Munich still ahead. Here's Josh Murphy for Oxford. Great cross into the Peterborough box, but it went behind both players in Oxford yellow. And the ball is kept in play just on the far side by Harrison Burrows and finds Joe Randall. Up to Mothersill, his first touch on halfway. Good strength to wriggle through him. 2 or 3 challenges, and then he's pulled back quite clearly by Kieran Brown, who had a massive chunk of Mothersill's number 18 shirt. And that's a free kick to Peterborough United. 1-1 on the night.
It's a good foul. If you're an Oxford fan, that's a great foul. Because Mothersill, his first touch when he received the ball is brilliant. And then he spins his man, he's away, he's running at the heart of what is now a back three, because he got the wrong side of Brown, and it's a clear tug.
Clipped into the box by Peterborough, headed away for Oxford United by Elliot Moore. Back it goes to halfway. Everybody inside the Oxford half of the field bar. Jed Steer, the posh goalkeeper. Katongo finds Cipriano for Peterborough, drifting down the inside right channel. Finds Josh Knight in a right wing position. Lays it off to Poku. Poku got 2 Oxford players for company. Gets to the byline. Can't whip his right foot around the cross. And it's a goal kick. A few fans around us thinking that's a corner kick. Not from my angle. That's a definite goal kick for Oxford United, who are still 2-1 up on aggregate here.
Yeah, it's frustrating, isn't it? Poku with that right foot, he's not wrapped the boot around the ball anywhere near well enough. It's always heading out for a goal kick. So yeah, he's had, you know, not that much of the ball tonight, and he's had some promising situations, Poku, but the end product has been relatively poor for a player of great talent.
Adrian Clark alongside me, Ian Danter at the Western Home Stadium. 20 minutes to go. Oxford United lead 2-1 on aggregate, 1-1 here on the night. Throw to Oxford for Sam Long to take on the far side of the field, just over the halfway line, with Oxford attacking the Desco stand away to our left hand side of this second half. Jed Steer takes the touch to Peterborough keeper, fires it right footed downfield to the halfway line, but it's a cushioned header from Joe Bennett. It was partially intercepted by Peterborough, but one back. And now they're trying to get Josh Murphy in behind Jadel Katongo, defending by the fullback for the posh, but it goes out of play for an Oxford throw.
Yeah. This is where Oxford want to be, inside the final third. There's a stoppage for the goalkeeper. Jamie Cumming has gone down. Don't want to lose him.
Now, whether this is a genuine injury or just housery, your guess is as good as mine. But of course, when a goalkeeper is treated, they don't have to go off the field for 30 seconds. So players have come to this near touchline, particularly those wearing the yellow of Oxford, to take on fresh instruction for their manager. That's got the feeling of, right, I need to have a word with these players.
Yeah, it has got that. I'm not saying it's a pre-planned thing or anything, but yeah, it's a sensible move. You know, he may well be genuinely injured here, let's see. But what is interesting is that the entire Oxford team have rushed over to speak to their manager. There's Buckingham. And the Peterborough players are coming over in dribs and drabs. There's no major messaging from Darren Ferguson. He's not really desperate to get the team together. He's having a little word, I think, with Ronnie Edwards. No, it's not Ronnie. Hector Cipriano there.
Yep, Hector the Protector, as he's known here at London Road.
He's getting some instructions, but yeah, it's they've not really taken full advantage of that little break and play. Peterborough United. No. Obviously, Ferguson doesn't feel he needs to get the group together.
Cummings back on his feet, the Oxford United goalkeeper, so we'll be back underway shortly. Don't forget, tomorrow night on TalkSport, can Aston Villa turn around that 2-goal deficit they have, heading for Piraeus, the port city of Athens. Olympiacos 4-2 up from the first leg. Jim Proudfoot and Andy Townsend, the former Villa midfielder, will be your commentary team. Hugh Rosencroft hosting. Our coverage starts at 7, kick off at 8 p.m. in the Europa Conference League semi-final, second leg, for the right to face Fiorentina in the final. Fiorentina won their semi-final earlier today. Still 1-0 to Bayern Munich over on TalkSport in the Bernabeu. Surely Thomas Tuchel might think about staying at Bayern after all this. He can get them over the line for a Champions League success. Will it be success for Oxford United and a trip to the playoffs? They've not made the playoff final since that behind closed doors final in 2020 when they lost to Wycombe Wanderers. They're trying to win the ball at the edge of the Peterborough box, but it's won back by Archie Collins. Edwards inside his own penalty area, clears left-footed for Peterborough up to halfway, but it won't find Mothersill, at least not at first. He showed great strength to dispossess Elliot Moore, then he was brought down. Well, he's proving to be a tricky customer already, Malik Mothersill, and it's a free kick to Peterborough United on halfway. 2-1 on aggregate to Oxford United, though. Yeah,
he's a better platform, isn't he, than Ricky J. Jones, who is just incredibly quick, but yeah, you can already see his hold-up play is more secure, Mothersill.
Mason Clark down the left-hand side for Peterborough. Good interception by Sam Long. It is a throw for Peterborough, but again, another good example of a defender staying on his feet and winning the challenge without going to ground. Out to the left-hand side, and Harrison Burrows. Edwards plays the ball along the halfway line to centre-half partner Josh Knight. He strides forward for Peterborough to the centre of the half, slides it down the box looking for the run of Mothersill, but it was well intercepted by Kieran Brown. Oxford cleared to the halfway line, but won back by the home side. Edwards in the centre circle, spots Mason Clark trying to get in behind Sam Long down the left-hand side of the box. He'll keep it in play down by the dead ball line. Rolls it back to Randall. Randall's cross to the far post. Oh, it just evades Kwame Poku and goes behind on the full for a goal kick. There's an Oxford player that I think has collided with the post in trying to keep Kwame Poku from getting the header on that. And that was another good half chance for Peterborough United to draw level on aggregate.
Oh, it's a fantastic ball from Joel Randall. It's whipped in at pace. It's just missed the far post. It's taken the goalkeeper out of play, the pace of the ball. And you've got Poku and a couple of Oxford defenders both going for it, or all three of them going for it at the same time, and somehow it misses all of them and goes out for a goal kick. But that could easily have ended up in the back of the Oxford United net. That's a little bit of a let-off for them.
That's Adrian Clark alongside me, Ian Tanter, here at the Western Home Stadium. Quarter of an hour to go. Peterborough United won, Oxford United won, but Oxford have a critical 1-goal advantage. There's another double change at least coming up for Peterborough United. You can see David Ajiboye getting some final instructions from Peterborough coaching staff. Is that Johnson Clark Harris coming on as well? I think it is. Not sure, just looking down beneath me to check what number it is. Actually might be, it is Johnson Clark Harris. My eyes did not deceive me.
Well, it's the sort of stage that is set for him to come on and make an impact. Look, we're into Peterborough United's best time frame in matches this season. 23 goals in the final quarter an hour of games. No one else can match that in League One. How they would love a 24th now.
Well, they are gambling. They're taking off Jadel Katonga to bring on an attacking midfielder in David Ajiboye. And Johnson Clark Harris comes on for Kwame Poku. So they've got two big men up front for the last quarter of an hour to try and get themselves back level. But Oxford are doing what they have to do so far.
Yeah, they're defending stoutly. They really have. They've protected their goalkeeper, who's not had to make too many saves tonight. Interesting to see what the system is here and who's going to play where. It's very, very bold, and the fact is, if they do get a goal, the rethink for extra time would be interesting from a Peterborough point of view. But look, they haven't got that goal yet. They have to go for broke.
Sent into the box by Randall, headed out for Oxford United by Owen Dale, but Randall guides the ball back to Archie Collins just over the halfway line, just tosses the ball up to the edge of the area, headed on by Clark Harris. Knight's trying to get after it, put behind for a corner kick by Sam Long. Huge roar goes up around London Road. What can Peterborough do from this corner kick?
It's just a simple ball into the box, and Clark Harris, who's a big player, we know that, he gets above his man, and from the knockdown, Oxford put it behind for a corner. And look, it's a fully loaded box here. Not everybody's gone up for it, but it's a threatening situation for Oxford, who are trying to make a substitution, actually.
They are bringing on a left-back, Greg Lee, who joined from Ipswich Town back in August, coming on for Owen Dale. So it's a left-back for a right winger. Yeah. So that means a change of shape.
Could be 5 at the back for Oxford. That would make sense, because Peterborough United are pretty much 4-2-4.
So a corner kick at the London Road terrace end, away to our right for Peterborough United. Joe Randall to strike it, right-footed, in-swinger, lofts it onto the 6-yard line. Clark Harris went up, drops at the edge of the area, driven goalwards by Archie Collins, but couldn't keep it down. Cumming had it covered anyway. Goal kick to Oxford United, and they maintain that 1-goal advantage. Wow. And we're heading towards the last 10 minutes of normal time on your home of the EFL playoffs, TalkSport 2.
He's got to take a touch there, Archie Collins. It comes out to him. He's got time to just get it under control and then make his decision. He hits it first time, and it's too ambitious. But look, there is still time, almost into the final 10 minutes now, but I'm sure there'll be plenty of added on.
Brannigan slightly slices an attempted clearance. It just goes out of play on the far side of the field for a Peterborough throw. Mason Clark using the multi-ball system to get play restarted quickly, but the ball goes back into the Peterborough half, and Collins will square the ball to his right for Josh Knight, who again runs at pace into the Oxford half of the field. Ajiboye's first involvement, works it back for Cipriano, square ball in field for Collins just ahead of the centre circle. Another square pass to his left for Burrows, out to Mason Clark. Early ball down the left hand side of the box for Randall, tries to check onto his right foot, almost slipped, kept possession well though. Back into midfield for Burrows, who lofts the ball to the far post. Up goes the keeper, claims it well in front of Josh Knight, and he claims he's hurt himself, and Bennett's gone down again, who was injured before, and again what the locals think of that from the two Oxford players. They think that's play acting.
Yeah, he's right in front of the main bank of home supporters. They're giving him pelters. Who knows? It's a good claim from Jamie Cumming. Josh Knight, by the way, during that passage of play, basically went up front. I think he's got a licence now. At times he's going to be in his centre-back position, but when Peterborough have the ball, it's get yourself up front alongside Mothersill and Johnson Clark Harris. It's a 4-2-4, but that's going to become a kind of 3-2-5 in desperation between now and the final whistle.
It is still 1-1 on the night, 2-1 on aggregate to Oxford United. Bennett's receiving treatment inside his own 6-yard box. A reminder, Olympiacos Aston Villa live tomorrow night on TalkSport from 7 p.m. Friday night, Doncaster against Crewe, the second leg of their League 2 semi-final. That's from 7:30 on TalkSport 2. Real Madrid have just equalised against Bayern Munich. That is now 1-1, and only a couple of minutes of normal time to go there as Joselu has equalised. Is that the Joselu's at Stoke?
I believe so.
Could be extra time then. Coming up at the Bernabeu. Back underway at London Road. Fulham Manchester City Arts Saturday lunchtime commentary on TalkSport as part of our award-winning game day coverage, and Tottenham against Burnley, our 3 o'clock offering on TalkSport 2 from the top flight. Johnson Clark Harris wants Greg Lee to get the throw taken quickly, and Joe Bennett's waiting for the opportunity to come back onto the field. Having had treatment, he has to wait that 30 seconds of regulation time before the referee allows him to re-enter the field of play. He's back on now, so it's 11 against 11. Got 8 minutes to go. Peterborough have got to find something from somewhere. Otherwise, they will fail again for a second season in a row at the playoff semi-final stage. Here's Josh Knight on halfway, trying to step in field, get away from Lee, who's just come on as a substitute. He's helped to win it back, and a driving run downfield will find Greg Lee, but he hasn't got the pace to get past Ronnie Edwards. Edwards calmly back to his keeper. Oh, the clearance from Jed Steer, straight to Rodriguez. Now the edge of the area is driven just wide. Goodness me, that was so close from Marcus McGay from the edge of the box. As Steer gave it away and was almost made to pay.
He's a lucky boy, Jed Steer, because it falls perfectly for Oxford United, and McGuay's on the edge of the D, and he hits the ball pretty cleanly, but in the end he just drags it, I would say, just a couple of centimetres wide of the post. It might even shave the outside of the post. It's a really close one for Oxford. That would have sealed it.
Mason Clark with a cross for Peterborough at the other end. Adjiboye knocks it down. It's touched through for Clark Harris, goes down, claims for a penalty, not given. Ball's out of play on this near side instead for a throw to the home side. Arms aloft from those around us saying, why haven't you given a penalty? And now there's another Oxford player down, wanting treatment. Is it Bennett again? I think it's Bennett for a third time.
It's Bennett again.
He's in the wars.
Yeah, I think they might have to take him off here. He's clearly struggling, and it's really frustrating the home fans. I'm sure the referee will be adding on the time. We could be in for a bumper bit of extra time here, because they've gone down at every opportunity. But I've got to say, with the changes that they've made, every time they put a ball into the box now, Peterborough, it's full of bodies and it's full of big guys that are really ruffling feathers in there. I feel like they just need the run of the ball to fall their way, Peterborough United, and they could snatch a late winner here. But credit Oxford, there's been an outstanding amount of resilience from them.
Bennett back on his feet and limping towards this near touchline. 9 minutes added time in the Champions League. Still 3-3 on aggregate. Don't miss Drive tomorrow from 4 on TalkSport. Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent going to be joined by Mr. David Beckham. The 6-time Premier League winner joins Andy and Darren live on the red carpet of 99, the new documentary on Manchester United's treble-winning season. Real Madrid are in front. There's a VAR check, but it may well be that Real Madrid are going to steal it and come from behind. Joselu gets his second goal of the second half, and Real Madrid look to be heading through live on TalkSport. Closing stages there with Jim Proudfoot and Stuart Pearce, but time left here for Peterborough, but only 5 minutes of normal time plus whatever Andrew Kitching adds on for stoppages. It is still on the night. Peterborough United 1, Oxford United 1, but crucially Oxford United have that one goal advantage, Adrian Clark.
They do, yeah. Just thinking about Real Madrid, how they always find a way, don't they, to get themselves through these tough Champions League games.
Ancelotti's eyebrow will be up above his forehead.
It really will. Can the Posh find a way to get themselves a goal here? It doesn't have to be pretty. It's been a much scrappier second half. I think because of the changes they've made, that it's impacted their style of play a little bit. They're going a bit more direct, but they just need the ball to fall to them inside the box. I'm sure Oxford have got plenty more defending to do between now and the final whistle.
Mason Clark, who's been a real outlet all night down the Peterborough United left, runs out of room though on this occasion. Josh Murphy was over on that far side keeping tabs on him, and the ball's out of play for an Oxford United throw. 3.5 minutes of normal time to play. Oxford United 2-1 up on aggregate. The Oxford supporters down to our left hand side in this main stand can sense the arch of Wembley Stadium coming into view.
Yeah, and you know, at the moment they've got the result they need, and they've done it with having very few touches inside the Peterborough box. Just looking at the stats, 6 all game Oxford.
Now down the left hand side, Burrows, early ball into the box, cleared away by Long, and then Burrows fouls his man as Oxford tried to clear their lines, and it's a free kick to the distance. Adrian Clark.
Yes, it's 6 touches inside the box, and Peterborough have had 22, but they've managed the game very sensibly, Oxford United, and they've absorbed pressure with real confidence, actually. I think that the 2 centre-halves have been particularly outstanding here this evening.
Bolton Wanderers await the winners. As it stands, it's Oxford United. Clearance though from Jamie Cumming, the Oxford keeper, drifts out of play on the far side for a Peterborough throw. 2 minutes of normal time to go. Peterborough need a goal. Oxford need to keep them out. Here's Ajiboye for Peterborough on this near side, looking to outpace Brown, who's come on. Didn't see Marcus Brown come onto the field. He snuck on whilst I wasn't looking. Marcus Brown has come on for Joe Bennett, who clearly couldn't continue.
Yeah, I don't think he was faking it. I think he was genuinely struggling.
So another change for Oxford. Ball's back with Ronnie Edwards. Going to be another change coming up for Peterborough. Emmanuel Fernandez going to be on shortly. But here's Ajiboye trying to whip a ball in from the right. Brown puts it behind. A 12th corner of the night for Peterborough. At the London Road end, it will be. They will make the change, and Joel Randall is making way for a former Barnet man, Emmanuel Fernandez, who's centre-back by trade, but it's just going in there to add more and more height for these last minutes at London Road. And his first task is to get into the box for this corner kick, which Harrison Burrows is going to send in. 40 seconds of normal time remaining. Peterborough need a goal, otherwise they fail again at the playoff semi-final stage. Burrows drives it in deep to the far post, left-footed, headed down, headed off the line. Superb defended by Sam Long to keep Oxford ahead. Burrows, right-hand corner of the box, lays it back to Ajiboye. Ajiboye goes on the outside of his man, tries to pull it back, and it's put behind for a corner kick by McGuane this time. Brilliant defending on his goal line by Sam Long.
Sensational. It really is, because the header is perfect. It's into the ground. The keeper is beaten, but the yellow shirt's there at the right moment.
Burrows again, very deep corner to the far post. Headed behind for a corner on the far side by Greg Lee this time. Corner number 14 for Peterborough United. 7 minutes. They've started that stoppage time now. Mason Clark pulls it back from the byline. Great header clear from inside his box by Kieran Brown. He was being fouled as he did so. Brave defending by Oxford United's number 3. He's won a free kick for his trouble, and Oxford United are hanging on here.
It's a brilliant piece of defending from Kieran Brown, who's been my man of the match. Absolutely superb. Really brave there. And just thinking about that goal line clearance, it was magnificent, because Sam Long wasn't standing still. He moves across the goal line to keep the ball out of the back of the net. It's really intelligent. It's so close. It really is. It's inches. It's almost over the line. Heroic from Oxford there.
Peterborough United 1, Oxford United 1. 2-1 to Oxford United on aggregate. A minute of the minimum 7 that's been added on has gone. Add to the left-hand side. It's with Mason Clark for Peterborough. Now tucked in field to Archie Collins just ahead of the centre circle. Ajiboye wants it fed out to him on this right wing. Faced up by Brown. Tries to whip an early crossing. Little dummy by Clark Harris. It almost ran through for a teammate. Ajiboye again. Hits it against Rodriguez and goes out of play on this near side for a Peterborough throw. All hands to the pump at the back for Oxford United to keep Peterborough at bay. Ajiboye with the throw, goes deep back towards Edwards, just ahead of the halfway line. Forward it goes to Collins. Now Ajiboye right wing, faced up by Marcus Brown, feinted across with his left boot, tries to go outside Brown with the right, cross to the near post is cleared out, play by Greg Lee for another posh throw. Now it goes back in again to Ronnie Edwards just over the halfway line. Collins receives it, right wing, just down beneath our commentary position. 2 minutes of added time have gone. Darren Ferguson looks frustrated. They're not getting the ball into the edge of the area. Now it's with Collins again, inside right position, but forced to turn in field by Mark Harris. Edwards gives it back to Collins. Surely this time it'll go into the box. In it goes from Archie Collins. Up goes Cumming. Oh, he's missed it and headed over the bar by Fernandez, who was furthest forward. Cumming was waiting to claim it for Oxford, but across his line came Emmanuel Fernandez, but he couldn't keep the header down. Goal kick Oxford, who still lead on aggregate.
He climbed so high, didn't he? Emmanuel Fernandez. The ball in is a peach. He gets there before the goalkeeper, but he's so high that he can't get above the ball and he can't keep it down. It goes a foot over the crossbar, and finally Oxford get themselves a breather. They've defended their own box really courageously in the second half, Oxford United. If they do hold out, you have to give them credit and say that they deserve to go through.
3.5 minutes of stoppage time elapsed, at least 3.5 to go. On TalkSport 2, you're home of the playoffs. Peterborough have to find a goal to force extra time. Mason Clark works it back to the halfway line, and Edwards. Now Cipriano receives possession just over the halfway line. Feeds it out to this near side for Ajiboye. But Ajiboye can't get the cross, and he's being blocked by Marcus Brown. Collins looks up, chips the ball up to the edge of the area. Headed away by Josh Murphy. Out of play for a Peterborough throw. Harrison Burrows gets it straight back into play. Picks it up left-hand side, tosses the ball into the area. Headed away by Kieran Brown. Looked like a handball from Ruben Rodriguez, right in front of our commentary position. Not spotted by the referee, but Marcus Brown couldn't keep the ball in play. Throw into Peterborough.
Yeah, it was a definite handball, but it's from point blank range. I'm not sure what else he could do about it, but look, as they've done all night, Peterborough got the ball down and they've restarted quickly.
Another diagonal ball up to the edge of the box. Kieran Brown there again, heads it straight up in the air. Clark Harris strikes to make something of it, but Cameron Brannigan just lofts the ball over halfway, asking Mark Harris to give chase, but Ronnie Edwards let the ball run across his body. 4.5 minutes gone of added time. A minimum of 7 was added.
Well, how many players up front here, Dan? So it's got to be 7 or 8, hasn't it?
Peterborough need a goal, otherwise they're going out of the playoffs. Down the left-hand side, Mason Clark finds Josh Knight at the edge of the area. Tries to drive, it's blocked by Elliot Moore. Comes out to Harris. Shows too much of that to Burrows. Clark Harris is bundled over. Actually, no, he's the aggressor, says the referee, against Kieran Brown. That's given as an Oxford United free kick.
Well, it's how I saw it as well. I think the Oxford defender gets there first and he collides with him. Johnson Clark Harris is not what anyone in this ground, apart from the Oxford fans, wanted, but I think that's the right call from the referee, and it crucially just gives Oxford the chance to calm things down, and they're going to boom this in the corner and look to play for territory, rugby style. 90 seconds of minimum added time to play on TalkSport 2. Oxford United are nearly there, and they have a free kick which has been boomed deep into the Peterborough half by Jamie Cumming. Heads go up, Cipriano wins it. One last chance maybe for Peterborough United. Marcus Brown has stayed down, having tried to win the header, but it wasn't a head injury. Peterborough can play on as far as the referee is concerned. Here's David Ajiboye trying to go on the outside of Greg Lee. Puts a good cross in to the far post. Headed, scored away by the keeper. And on the far side, Mason Clark can't turn it in. It was Josh Knight who thought he got them level. Another great save this time by Jamie Cumming. And it ends up being a goal kick for Oxford United, who edge ever closer to victory on aggregate. Oh, Josh Knight cannot believe it. What a save from Jamie Cumming. The cross is sensational, and he gets a perfect header on it at the far post. He's heading for the corner, and he just leaps to his right as the Oxford United keeper and palms it away. What a save. What a moment.
Oxford United seconds away from a trip to Wembley. Cumming fires the ball downfield, headed back into the Oxford half by Cipriano. Lee heads it downfield, helped over halfway by Rodriguez. The 7 minutes are up. It's now down to the referee as to how much more we play. Peterborough desperate for an equaliser on aggregate. It's down the left-hand side with Mason Clark. Plenty in the box. Sent into the edge of the area. Long heads it up in the air. Burrows tries to help it down the left-hand side. Mothersill trying to get involved. It's gone out of play, but it's a Peterborough throw. Chance for a long throw into the box. Right at the death here.
This is it. It's now or never for Peterborough United. What can they do from this Josh Knight throw?
Takes a long run up. Hurls it into the near post. Flicked on. Oh! Rift beyond the far post. Flicked on by Fernandez, and the referee blows for full time, and Oxford United have denied Peterborough a playoff final berth for a second successive season.